Hi, this is Priyanka Chopra and you're watching Channel Y.
The biggest South Asian media group, Y Media.
Y Media Group, established in 2001, is a media company with a 360-degree approach in reaching our audience over 5 platforms: television, radio, newspaper, online news portal, and mobile app.
Y Media has newspaper, midweek, radio, South Asian Pulse.
Hi, I'm Amitabh Bachchan and you're listening to South Asian Pulse.
Hi, this is Amir Khan and you're listening to South Asian Pulse.
All English 24/7 television network and Y Media Plus.
Y Media Ground Zero Report. From Parliament Hill to Queen's Park to Y Media Studios.
How did your meeting go with the Prime Minister of India?
I've sat down and had many conversations with Prime Minister Modi.
Anti-terror bill has been one of the major concerns.
I actually think we found pretty strong support.
No highway has been built in the last 25 years in GTA.
Where's the money going?
This is one city where it was in favor of NDP 3-2.
Next election, we're going to win 5 ridings.
Channel Y, 24/7, available nationwide. Toronto, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Calgary, Vancouver. Rogers 857. Bell 828. Telus 2418. Ignite 707. Midweek Newspaper, the biggest free English newspaper in Canada. When print media is facing challenges across the globe, Midweek's continuous growth has positioned Midweek Newspaper, the biggest free English newspaper in Canada. Midweek covers.
Hello, my name is Kamal Bhatia. I am a resident of Toronto. Today I have a very special guest from South Africa, Meir Ezra, in the Y Media studios, and we are going to have, we are going to have a lot of fun. If you're expecting something serious, that's a byproduct. If you're expecting to have fun, then you are listening to the right person, and very soon I'll pass the mic on to Meir Ezra, and he will tell you a lot more about himself. Even if I say a few things like he's an inventor, he's a business owner, he runs seminars, he runs various things that I wouldn't be doing justice, because he's much more than that. So I bring you to Meir Ezra, and he'll be telling you more about himself.
Thank you.
Meir.
Thank you. So, a little bit about myself. I am, first of all, a person that loves to help. Whatever I do, the purpose is to bring value to the other side. And I do that in many different ways. I do that through helping families. So I have something that's called the Family Academy. It is a series of 50 lessons that teaches families how to have better relationship, how to have actually the perfect family. I teach business. I teach spirituality. I teach how to print money. I teach a lot of things. But the thread that goes through all of that is I bring results. And the results that I bring is improvement for the person in front of me. Improvements because your potential is so high and you just don't know how high it is. And sometimes you know that your results do not match your potential. You know you've got more potential than results and you don't know why. Well, that's what I do.
Thank you, Meir. The whole starting has been such amazing. I like to help. Wow. Not many people say that or mean that. I talk about families and make perfect families. Amazing. And in today's world, a lot of people are longing for good relationship within the family. You spoke about business and how to make more money. Boy, everyone would be interested in knowing how to make more money. Meir, I'll start with two things and I'll ask you the questions first. And I believe this is going to be the underlying theme of everything that you do, that you love to help.
Yep.
I'll ask you to talk more about that later. I'll come back to it.
Okay.
But before I even go there, I'm intrigued by what you said, that you make perfect families. You bring about relationship within a family in such a way that not only are they happy, they are beyond happy. So would you like to say a little more about what do you do in your family academy?
Okay. So generally when people come to me, they come to me for two reasons. Either they have problem with their children or they have a relationship problem between the couple. When a person have a problem with his children, the actual source of the problem is not the children, never. The problem is never the children. The problem is always, I know most people will not like to hear it, but it's effective, it works. The problem is the parents. I never need to talk to the children in order to fix the children. I need to handle the parents, and the children automatically get sorted. So this is quite an amazing concept, that if you try to solve a problem and you see that the problem doesn't get resolved, what you think about the problem is incorrect. You're trying to solve the incorrect problem. Every time you try to solve a problem and the problem did not get resolved, you need to be brave enough and realize that you are trying to solve the wrong problem. Find the real problem that you need to resolve, and you will see the problem will not be solved. It will dissipate, it will go away.
Wow, wow, wow. The problem will dissipate, it'll go away. What you said is so interesting, that the problem, more often than not, or if not always, it's the parents, not the children.
Yeah.
Wow. Most parents won't like to hear that. They would deny it. Some of them will get upset with what you just said. And I would believe that more upset you get, and I'm sure Meir would be shedding more light on that, the more upset you get, the bigger is the problem with you. Why? Because you are the genesis of the problem. You are the source of the problem. You are like in a tree, you are the root which are beneath the ground, which are below the ground. And from those roots, the children come and the family grows. So if the problem is in the roots, the relationship between the spouses or with the children are bound to have problems. Meir, can you talk a little more on that? I'll come to you a little later about relationship between the spouses. Let's talk about relationship with the children. Are you talking about relationship only with teenage or older children, or does it also apply to younger children?
Any age. Relationship is relationship. And the general idea is that truth, it's truth only when it works or applies to any situation. So if you have a piece of truth and you say, well, that's what works here, but it doesn't work here, it's not truth. Like if this is gravity and I live it, It will be if I'm here or in South Africa or anywhere. I'll leave it, it will fall. And you will know that if I leave it and it doesn't fall, it means that there is some kind of cheating going on, there is some lies going on. In regards to children, children have a problem. They don't learn by reading, they don't learn by hearing, they don't learn by listening. Children mimic, they copy the parents. And each person that's viewing us now, if you check your life, you'll see that even if you don't admire your parents, you behave like one of them. Why? Because children are copy-paste of the parents. And the moment that you realize that, you understand that you need to handle the parents. Now, why is it? Because for the children, when a child is born, he has a hierarchy. There's mother, then there's God, then there's father, and everyone else. So they really love their parents. They really love their parents and admire them. And even if they say that they don't, they copy what the parent does. And if the parents doesn't understand relationship, doesn't understand how to handle the kids, there's just disasters. If you look at parents, and if I will behave to them the way that they behave to their children, they will kill me. If a stranger will behave to their kids the way that they behave to their kids, they will kill the stranger.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you change the parent and you save the kid.
Wow. This is something worth remembering. You change the parents, you save the kids. Let me repeat it. You change the parents, you save the kids. It's almost something that you like to note down and read it every time you get upset with your children. Change the parents, save the kid. Hey, I'm not saying change the parents that you get new parents. No, no, no. You keep the same parents,
Yeah.
but if the parents are open to changing themselves, the children, the relationship issues are solved. At this point, Meir, you mentioned that at some point or the other, we all start mimicking our parents.
Yeah.
It is so true. I'll share something. When I was growing up and I would look at my dad, there were so many things I didn't like. Or even the way he would wear his clothes and his physical movements. And then a few years back, boom, I realized I was wearing the clothes the same way. My
Wow.
physical movements were the same. My dad, I was exactly the same. Even though when I was young, I would say, no, 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 I don't want to be him. I became him. And quite often my wife would tell me, hey, listen, you talk like your mom. You look like your mom. You blink your eyes like your mom. You eat like your mom. Not criticizing, but I mean, so thank you for bringing that up. And for all the younger, for all the teenagers and mid-30s and mid-20s, the children, if you think you don't like the parents, chances are, as Meir said, you are mimicking them. Your hard disk is taking in that data, it's taking in those pictures, it's storing the pictures, it's taking in how you react in any given situation based on what you remember from the past, your parents reacting, and you start acting like that. Thank you, Meir. I'd like you to share this in a little more detail, because I think, now I'm sure that parents resist. Children are willing to change, but parents resist. So can you elaborate a little more on how to make parents be more open and save the children?
Yeah. So first of all, you will see that you will become what you resist. Because what does it mean, resist? Resist means, my definition of the word resist means hold close in order to avoid. So if I resist this hand, I need to hold it close so it will not hurt me. What do you resist? What you consider bad. So you're holding close all the things that you consider bad in order to avoid, which is totally insane. Totally insane. What you should do is understand the principle that a child, if you, and I'm sure 99.999% of parents want their child to be perfect, and you can. The most important thing for the child is to be self-determined. If I'll take a person and if I'll ask you what is the worst thing, what is worse than dying for a person, there's one thing that's worse than dying. If I'll give any person this or to die, they will choose to die. And this is to say, I'm wrong. Now people immediately will say to me, yes, but I do say I'm wrong. I'm married, I've been trained. But you say I'm wrong but, or I'm wrong because. Which means you're not. Because if the word but mean everything I said before is a lie. Cancel. If I say I love you, but it means I don't love you. I want to do it, but it means I don't want. So people, if you will see that they never say that they are wrong, because at zero time you do what you think is the right thing to do. And if someone makes you wrong, he kills you a little bit. Because how wrong can you be? Dead wrong. When you die is the most wrongness there is. So every time you make someone else wrong, you kill him a little bit. Without bullets, you kill him a little bit. And every time that you make someone right, you inject life into them. So the purpose of the parents should be only one thing: to make the child more self-determined. It is more important than his immediate body. It is better that the child will get injured, not die or something, yes, but like that he will fall or get hurt, but he will do the thing that he decides to do. But if you go and you run after your child and tell him, be careful, don't do that, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, you're telling him, don't live, don't live, don't live, don't live, it's dangerous to live, it's dangerous to live. And then when he goes to life, he doesn't participate in life. He becomes the effect of life. In order to succeed in life, you need to participate. In order to participate in life, you need to be willing to win and lose with the same level of enthusiasm. You need to go in, and if I have to die, I would die, but I did it my way. I did it my way. I'm self-determined. So if you love your children, you have to make them self-determined.
Thank you, Meir. While you were sharing this, I was thinking of my childhood. As I was growing up, we'll come back from school, we'll literally throw our school bags, run out to play, climb trees, lick mud on the street, and a very common pastime was licking the paint on the walls. We survived, we did well, but today the parents are so protective. Don't do this, you'll fall. Don't talk to them. Oh, this person has a cold, you'll catch germs. So what we are doing is, in our effort to protect the children, thinking that we are wishing them well, we are weakening them. We are taking out the strength from their body, their physique, everything. So let the child take some risks. Yeah. And if he gets hurt, so he gets hurt. So what? Yeah. And I used to do that. And now with my granddaughter, thank you for reminding me, I'll be much more careful with my do's and don'ts. Hey, run, fall, doesn't matter. Enjoy, learn. Coming back to the reforming of
Maybe
the
one more
parents.
words on that before we go in. The magic is that if you make the child self-determined, nothing happened to them. Why? Because if you train someone and you lie to them, you say everything is good, everything is good, everything is good. You don't actually show them the bad. You're actually giving them a distorted picture of life. So maybe they will be protected for the next 5-10 years by you, but soon they will go to school and they will be bullied. Soon they will go to school and things can happen. So if you don't prepare someone for the good and the bad, you actually lie to them. If you tell them, look, it's dangerous, it's dangerous, it's dangerous, it's dangerous, you lie to them because there's much more good than bad. So you need to give them both sides of the picture. And you need to let them make their own mind. They have to become self-determined. It is more important than food. It is more important than what they learned at school. It is more important than anything. If I'm self-determined, I will make it go right. If not, I need a cane to help me. You're making me disabled.
Thank you, Meir. In history, one such typical or the greatest known example is Buddha. He was a prince and his father wanted to protect him from everything, from all sadness, from all sorrow. When he grew up, he realized that people die. He was not allowed to see anyone dying or even getting anyone old. Once he saw somebody dying, he realized that his father has been extremely protective or less than truthful. Mm-hmm. What happened? He renounced his kingdom, walked away, and of course, for the betterment of the world, a new religion called Buddhism was born through many cycles. But yes, thank you. So if you don't want your child to be extra protected from knowing both sides, the good and the bad, the harmful and the not so harmful, if you want your child to grow up as a global personality, as a wholesome personality, give him the truth. Give her the truth. Encourage them. Meir, where encouraging is concerned, would you like to talk a little more about how to encourage the child?
Okay, so the child gets encouraged when he understands. If he understands the purpose, if he understands how he can contribute, how he can help, he will be like an energizer. Like there will be no shortage of energy. He will be willing and everything will go well. When he does not understand, he will be unwilling. Now the magic is that when the willingness is high, the barriers are small. And when the willingness is low, the barriers are huge. They're insurmountable. So when you get the willingness of the child, and that's true to any person, the only thing you have, even from a worker that got to work, he's not working for the money. He has the willingness to help. If the willingness is there, everything will work out. So why will a child not be willing? Because he does not understand. You assume it's simple for you, but for the child, he does not understand. So how do you make sure that the child understands? So you need to understand the concept of a gradient. What does it mean, gradient? If I need to take you from here to here, maybe you'll not be able to climb that. It's too much. But if I will break it down to small steps, and I will check after each step that you actually can do, not just repeat, not just say that you understand, but you actually can do, bring result in each step, you'll see that you will progress, and the progress will become with bigger and bigger steps. But at the beginning, if you see that the child is not willing, what's missing is that you went too much, too high, too big of a step. You need to go back to cut the step. You need to go back to something that he could do. Go back to there. Find out what he didn't understand in the step before, handle that step, and then go up slowly. So once you realize that everything in life has a gradient, everything is steps. You'll see that when the child do not understand, it's a problem of a gradient. He will not be willing. The manifestation will be he's not be willing. Actually, when you negotiate an agreement in business, if you understand this principle, you can bring anyone to agree on anything. Anyone on anything. Just in a relationship with a husband and a wife, all the time, if there is a misunderstanding and unwillingness, the gradient was out. It was too much. If you'll go back to what did you agree on, I love you, that's the agreement. You like that. And you go at a slow pace, like at the beginning. You go at the slow pace and you see, she's happy about it. Okay, good. And now I'm giving her, at the beginning I said, oh, I like you. And she said, oh, that's so nice. I see she accepted. Good. Next time I say, I really, really like you. And that's a little bit higher gradient. Next time I'll bring you a flower. Next time I'll give you a present. Next time I will say, I love you. But if I'll say day one, I love you, she will say, oh, this guy's crazy. The gradient is too much. So you need to do it on a gradient, if you understand it for anything in life. But especially for your children, you will see the willingness will be there, they will understand you, and there will be just no problem.
Thank you. As the saying goes, one step at a time. And very soon, I'll go back to my childhood. Earlier, when we started climbing the stairs, I was living on the third level. I would barely be able to climb. But as I grew, I could do 3-4 steps at a time. It's the same with our children. The responsibility of parents then is gradient, one step at a time, gradient, one step at a time. Maybe initially you are standing behind the child to support him, not to hold his hand and take him up, but let him do that, stand behind. And then they start taking 3-4 steps at a time. Same thing when the child grows up. And Meir, I come back to you on this. When the children grow up, they are no longer children. When they are pre-teens, they are teens, then they are rebelling. Dad in most cases is a fool. And mom is too much of love. She is not to be considered because she is all mushy. How would you advise parents, the father, not to be a fool, not to be a disciplinarian, not to be the man with the whip, and the mother not to be too smothering in her love? What would you suggest the parents do?
So first of all, let's go a little bit before why even it happens, because in my family it didn't happen. My children never had that kind of a problem. Why? When a person or a child or any person receive things, you receive things. So a child is born and you give him things and you give him things and you give him things. He wants to give you back. And at the beginning, he gives you back a baby smile. He gives you back. A child grows and he says, I love you. And it is like $1 billion, yes? So he gives you back. But over time, the child realizes that you're giving him a lot, and to tell you I love you is not enough, and he wants to contribute. But you don't have the patience for him to contribute at the way that he can, in his gradient. So you bypass him, and you do the work for him, and he tries to contribute again, and you say, no, don't do that, you interfere with me. And you try to do that again, and you say, no, I don't need your help. And so he stopped helping, but you continue to give him. So he feels like a criminal. A criminal is someone that takes without giving back. So he started to feel like a criminal. So he started with you and him loving him, and you make him wrong. You cannot help. You are useless. You cannot help. I don't need your help. You're too slow. You're too stupid. You cannot help. So now he feels so wrong, and at the age of 10, 11, 12, he just cannot take it anymore. And what happened? He started to make you wrong. anything that you will say, he will make you wrong. And if you'll be nicer to him, it will be worse. And he will make you wrong, make you wrong, make you wrong, make you wrong, make you wrong. And when you are wrong enough, he will be able to talk to you. And it takes a few years. By the age of 20, 25, 30, he thinks, oh, I know enough. So it's okay that I will get into communication again. So the key, why is it happening, is exchange. You don't allow him to give it. And it happens with other people. If you have a friend that used to be a very good friend and now he hates you, if you check, you will see that you gave him and you gave him and you gave him and you gave him and you didn't insist to get back. So now he hates you, he has to. How do you fix it? You fix it by being willing to understand. You really have to be willing to understand the viewpoint of the child. And you think, no, but I'm right. Think again, look. If this is life and there is here 8 billion people, which means 8 billion viewpoints, this guy is the most clever guy in the universe, and he is like, his thought is like weather. This guy will understand him more or less. These guys will start to think that he's stupid. This guy will not understand what he's talking about, and this guy would think that we need to kill him. Which means that people that are smart are always aside, and your children are always smart. And you are unwilling to understand them. You need to be able to get the viewpoint. The more viewpoints you have, the more control you end up having, because once you really understand the viewpoint of the child, you'll never fight with him. Because he will be running with you, not against you. Because you really understand him. If you find that the child doing something wrong, and you need to resist him, you don't understand him. My kid was about 8 years old. And he came to me one day and he said, I want to smoke. And I said, for sure. He said, but I want you to help me to get cigarettes. I said, for sure. I have a friend that smokes. I can ask him to get you to smoke. And he said, but I want to smoke by myself. I said, for sure. I'll let you smoke by yourself. Do you want to light the cigarette? He said, I want to light the cigarette. I said, but I don't know how. I said, not a problem. My friend knows how. And he will help you. I will ask him. So we went to this friend, Yaron, and my son, I think he was 7, 8, something like that. And he says, I told him he wants to smoke, and he gave him a cigarette, and he showed him how to light the cigarette, and he took the cigarette, and he tried to light it up. It didn't work so well. So Yaron helped him, and he pushed, and he puffed the cigarette, and he says, you know what? I don't think that I like cigarettes anymore. I said, it's okay. If you like them, fine. If you don't like them. And he said, but if I want, I can smoke. I say, yes. Yes, for sure. And the same applied to anything they wanted. I will explain to them what the good, the bad, and then tell them, whatever you decide, I'm with you. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. It's more important for me that you will decide than that I will be right.
Wow, wow, wow. Whatever you decide, I am with you. How many of us as parents have the guts, the courage to say that? Whatever you decide, I'm with you. Which means the love from the parent to the child is unconditional. It is not that if you act the way I want you to act, I love you. No, I love you. I'll share an example from my life. This was about 20 years back or 18 years back. One day my son says, Dad, I want to talk to you. And he had a small face, very quiet. I said, sure. No, you won't get upset? I said, no. Come. He says, I got the report card from the school, which I was supposed to show you. I didn't. I just initialed because I hadn't done well. I initialed and submitted it in the school. I said, okay. You're not upset? I said, no. Why? He says, I was scared that you'll really get upset and you'll yell at me. I said, no, I'm not upset. But what thrills me is that you've had the courage to come and tell me this is it. And that's what I love about you, and that's what I love you. And I'll always love you for that. Now, in spite of thinking that he'll be yelled at, when instead of yelling at him, or instead of making him feel guilty, or instead of making him feel small, what did I do? I gave him love and acceptance. Whatever you decide or whatever you've done, I'm with you. And today he's turned out into an amazing man running with his own family. So as parents, our responsibility then is give them love. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. Change the parents, save the child. I come back to what you started with here. Change the parents, save the life, save the child.
It's really amazing that because the parents, if they look how they behave to their children, they would be amazed. I'll give you a story. I was walking somewhere, and someone hit me by mistake, in the street. And I said, I'm sorry. And I went, and he went, and nothing was, not a problem. Later on the day, I went home, and I was in the kitchen, and I was helping there with the food with my wife. And my kid, my son, was running, and he ran into the kitchen, and he pushed me, and I almost fell, and I said, hey, don't push me like that. And he got really, really hurt, but I didn't really see that. But he got really hurt, and he just left. And but I wasn't like really thinking at that moment. Later on at night, I was sitting in my office, and I was thinking, this stranger hit me, and I was so nice to him. My son, I didn't give him any attention. So I went down to the kitchen, and I looked, and I saw flowers. And I said, wow, flowers on the floor? Picked up the flowers, and I went to my son's room and waked him up. And I said, are those the flowers you brought to me? And he told me, yes, Daddy, that was for you. I picked them up because I love the colors, especially the blue one. It reminded me the color of your eyes.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's so good. We just don't see it. We just don't see it. The intention is so good. That's so beautiful. So, of course, I kissed him and kissed him. And the message, the idea is that we really, despite the fact that they are our children, he is my son, it doesn't give me the right to make him wrong. It doesn't give me the right to steal from him his self-determinism. Actually, the word family stands for father and mother, I love you.
Wow, that's a new one, guys. Yeah. Father and mother, I love you. Thank you, Meir. Thank you. I repeat what he said a couple of minutes earlier. I can't have a right to make my child wrong. It's not my right. The only right and responsibility I have is give him love or give her love and help him decide and think for himself. If I'm able to help my child decide for himself, guide him. Don't decide for him. Don't make the decisions for him. Because I think I'm right, I can't make him wrong. So, where my children are concerned, as a parent, I don't have a right to make my child wrong. Meir, you're giving some beautiful one-liners, and I'm sure the audience would really love it.
Thank you.
I don't have a right to make my child wrong. That's amazing. Thank you, Meir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Now, when I say I have my responsibility to love him. I have my responsibility to guide him. I have my responsibility to be with him. I have my responsibility to understand him. What do I need to do as a parent to be able to reach that?
Yeah. So the responsibility is the result of knowledge. You see, if I teach you how to drive a car, you'll take responsibility for the car. When mankind learned about, got the knowledge about hearts, they can do open heart surgery. They can replace the heart. So knowledge results in responsibility. So if you find it hard to be responsible for the one thing that you are responsible for with the kids, above all, which is to make the child self-determined, he needs to be able to decide for himself. He needs to be able to see right from wrong. You know, even the word, you look at the child and you say, what is moral? Moral is the ability to see right from wrong and act from that viewpoint. So if you don't make him self-determined, he cannot see right from wrong because you tell him what's right and wrong. So if he cannot see right from wrong, you actually setting him up to become a criminal unintentionally, because he cannot evaluate what in front of himself. To evaluate, you need to be able to observe. But if I got all my answers from my parents, they told me do that, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, and it become even worse because they tell you be a good child, but they never told you what does it mean good. Today good means to be quiet, tomorrow is to talk to everyone, the next day is to sleep. What does it mean good child? They never actually define it. So no, don't be a good child. Be self-determined child. Don't be a good child. Be able to evaluate and decide right from wrong and act from that viewpoint. That's what you're looking for. That creates a powerful being that create new civilization. And otherwise you will have crimes after criminals after criminals after criminals. The parents have good intention, they're missing the knowledge, they cannot be responsible, and unintentionally they're creating criminals.
So what you're saying here is that it's the responsibility, the prime responsibility of the parents to ensure that they learn and they help the child learn. The child will not be able to learn if you don't know. So you have to read, you have to study, you have to discuss, you have to understand, you have to learn. Do that as parents. Why? Because you want your child to grow up as a self-reliant individual who is not a criminal taking, but a rounded individual who can take and give with the same love and affection. It is the responsibility, your responsibility as parents, my responsibility as a father, and Meir's responsibility as a father, as a teacher, as an amazing gentleman who is creating wonders in the world.
Yeah, and this is why really we created the Family Academy. It is 50 lessons that teaches parents how to be a parent. Because you get born and you grow up, and no one teaches you how to be a parent. No one teaches you how to be a good child. No one actually teaches you the knowledge of a family. So you become irresponsible for your own family. And if you do things for your family, you do it on a protest because I have to, because I must, because they're not doing so well, so I have to do it. No. If you want to help your family, make them able. If you, even as a child, if one of my siblings is not doing well, the handling is not to give them. No. The handling is to make them more able, to get them a productive person, to make them self-determined. That's the only way. They say, and this is all got through knowledge, and they say, if you give a person food, a fish, you give him a meal, but if you give him a fishing rod, you give him food for the whole life. And I said, that's nonsense and bullshit. Why?
Can you repeat that, please?
I'll explain why.
Yeah.
If you give a person a fish, you give him a meal. So it's not good, because if you give him a fishing rod, you give him food for the whole life. But I said that it's nonsense. Why? Because you made him a slave. If you teach him how to learn, now he can become anything that he decides will be the best for him and his family and his city and town and country. So I don't want to make slaves, make them fishermen. I don't want to make people fishermen. No, I want to give them the tools that they will be able to observe, decide what is the most pro-survival profession they should learn, and they learn that profession, and they improve, not because they want a meal, but because they want to help.
Thank you. What he just said, not just to make a meal or to earn a living or to survive, no, to be able to help. And you remember what Meir started with, I am all the time helping. So even while bringing up children, the objective is that children learn not just survive or earn or grow or do well, but be able to help. Be able to help the family, the community, the country, create new things, imagine, make new inventions. Not just become a doctor because my father is a doctor or a grandfather is a doctor, or an engineer because they're all engineers in the family. No. Let the child decide. And if he wishes to be a poet, let him write good poetry. Guide them, allow the child to be what he can be best at. And while running the family or bringing up children, Google provides you a lot of answers. But don't rely just on Google. Get proper training, what Meir has been talking about, Family Academy. Family Academy is amazing. And Meir, do you have some free videos of Family Academy if some people want to watch that?
Yeah, of course. So, of course, you can follow me on Instagram, and you'll get data, free videos every day. I put a lot of content. And my name is Meir Ezra Official, so you can follow me on Instagram. Or you can go to our website, cheapprosperity.com. Or you can go to Udemy and get free courses there. We have ton of content that is totally free, that if you are interested, the sky is not the limit. We delivered the Family Academy for more than 1 million families so far.
One million?
Yes, 1 million.
Wow.
And we have more than 2 million success stories. It is really powerful. It is not just some kind of something that, it's nice to know. No, changes life. It handles situation like, I can give you a story of a lady, a mother that came to us, that the child was fighting with her, went to the police issue a restraint order against the mother, like a mess, real mess. For mother is like more than heartbreaking. It's like she basically was walking dead because the child fighting with her. She came to the Family Academy and she said, no, nothing can help. And a friend of her brought her to the Family Academy. To cut a long story short, 6 weeks later, they handled the problem. And today, the child is married with children, and they have the best relationship ever. We handled I showed you the video with John Carvalho. We handle drugs, children with problem with drugs. We handle screen time. We handle study problem. These 50 lessons are more than gold. If someone will come to me and tell me, what do you prefer, this knowledge all the money that I have, and I have a lot of money, I will go for the knowledge. That's how important it is.
Thank you, Meir. Again, his one-liners are something to remember. All the gold in the world or this knowledge. And believe me, what he's talking about just a little bit of tiny bit of what he's teaching, what his courses are. I'm not here selling the course. No. That's not my business. My business is that you, as the audience, get an opportunity to read, to study, follow him. And if you like it, learn more, join his course if you wish to. But I can tell you this, whatever a little or more that you listen to him, it is worth its weight in gold, because he walks the talk. He doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the talk, and he more than walks the talk. He walks the talk willingly and smilingly and helpingly. That's Meir Ezra for you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone that listening. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
National news, sports news, entertainment news, lifestyle news, and more. Published every Tuesday, delivered to 6